Hello, my name is Jason and welcome to Serve the Horn. The purpose of this video is to continue our discussion on the descriptors of acoustical energy, or how we describe sound. Today's topic is about amplitude and loudness. Most young students have a difficult time playing in tune when playing loudly. This is because of the natural tendency to play very sharp without really knowing it. This tendency occurs because the student is putting a lot of air through the aperture and it's actually out of control. In order to combat this, we have to practice bringing our pitch down when we play loudly. I have borrowed an exercise from a great teacher. His name is Doug Hill, and I have adapted it for the drone. Okay, there's a few things I want to show you with this particular exercise. When we're talking about playing really loudly and how easy it is to play sharp, I thought I would show you a visual representation of what that would look like through our tonal energy app. What I'd like you to do is, with your app, you're going to come down here and click on the tuner button. That will give you a better, cleaner representation of the color wheel, and it will give us a chance to see what's really going on here. However, I need to make one quick change to mine. I'm going to change my transposition back to F. There we go. And I'm going to use the tuner side, the tuner button. Now, when it comes to playing loud, as I've mentioned before, it's very easy to play sharp. And the reason being is when we throw a lot of air at our aperture, it's not necessarily going to control it. So we have to learn to control our aperture. But this is this is what it looks like when we play really sharp, really loud. As you can see, the circuit wheel, it went very, very high. The reason for this is that I'm pinching a lot. I'm pressing down really, really hard on my airstream with my face, as if I need to muscle this note out, which is not the case. What you need to think or consider is simply air speed. Go faster. Your aperture can easily get overloaded, so you have to be careful with how you manipulate the air. Meaning, usually your jaw needs to be a little bit lower, your corners need to be firmer, and your oral cavity needs to be a little bit bigger. It's cold in here, it's registering a little flat. But you can see through that simple demonstration, stop pinching, stop biting so hard, and just rely on a fast airstream. Amplitude is the measurement of how much energy is contained within a sound wave, usually represented by the decibel scale. We humans perceive that as volume, loud and soft. Soft, and loud. As you can see in the picture represented here, notice the peaks and valleys. They occur at the same time, while the amplitude, or the height and depth of the weight, changes dramatically. All right, so we have to set up our tuner again, and what I'd like you to do is to go up to the upper left-hand corner where it says temperament, and make sure it says just temperament. Now, this particular exercise requires you to play a major sixth above the note being droned. What that means is you got to keep your pitch down. This is actually even more challenging because the major sixth is a very shallow interval. So therefore, you got to be really aware when you're playing loud, you got to keep your pitch really, really low. In this case, the note on your piece of sheet music is a C in the staff. That requires us to set up our drone a major sixth below that, which is an E flat. So make sure you go down to your piano or your wheel, whichever it is you're using, and double click the E flat. So that'll put us in the correct intonation set. Second thing you need to do, make sure your metronome is set at 60 beats a minute. Now this exercise, as you can see, goes from pianissimo to triple forte. Doug Hill put together this exercise, and it is absolutely wonderful. He is one of our country's greatest horn pedagogues, and he is very kind and writing a lot of great things for his students in the horn world. I have made a slight change to the exercise in order to keep your air moving forward. You'll see some quarter notes in there, and the idea is to just make sure you're breathing a lot and making sure that your air is moving. Okay, we are in the just temperament of E flat. Our metronome is set at 60 beats a minute. I'm going to hit the sustain button, and then I'm going to hit my E flat. After I hit my E flat, I am then going to hit my tuner button. That will give us a real clean picture to look at. So please play along with me. It's going to be a pretty long one and a pretty loud one. Do what you can to keep your pitch down. So before I play, I'm going to see where my C sits. As you can see, I started really sharp because that's where my C is when I tune normally. But remember, we got to bring it down. Use your ear, try not to use your face. Set your metronome, and here we go. Before leaving this exercise, as you can see, there are many more variations below. What you need to do is make sure you set your metronome as a major sixth below each of these pitches. If there are some notes that you are unable to play, simply skip them. Don't worry about it. You're growing. Thanks for joining me today. Keep your practice focused, and I'll see you next time.